Watch it. Look. What'd you put?
Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for clicking on the video. It feels like it's been some time since I've been out. I haven't actually been out since I got back from Sweden, which is a month ago now, but you're probably sick of my face if you've been watching the Sweden series the last couple of weeks. Still a couple episodes to go on that. I've enjoyed making them. I would say they haven't really been well received. There's not many views on them at all. But it is what it is. I had a fantastic trip and I've enjoyed making the videos, so yeah, I'm just out for the morning, afternoon, just for a coffee and some lunch. I'm just going to make some coffee now. I've got some new coffee to try actually. There's a Latvian company sent this over for me to try. So I'm going to put this in just now. I'll put a link in the description if anyone's interested. And I've got a nice big venison steak to cook up and some mushrooms as well. I was hoping to get some chanterelles to go with it, but it's been a really bad year for them this year. It's been so dry, it's such a dry spring and summer that, yeah, they haven't done well. I'm just in my local forest in Loch Ness, and last year there was too many to eat, you know, there was loads of them. So there's a few scattered about, but I don't want to take them because it just means there's less chance of getting some more next year. So yeah, I just left them alone. The reason I haven't been out, well, I think a few things, I guess. Mental health hasn't been great, although if you've watched my channel for a while you know that that's nothing new. I think having, you know, a pretty crazy summer going to Norway and Sweden and then coming home after that and just sort of back to normal, I've struggled with that. I suppose from, you know, that high, and just I suppose the rest of the year in general, you know, it's been pretty crazy and intense with doing the YouTube stuff and social media stuff, you know, just taking off Instagram, and there's been a bit of sort of social media burnout as well. And since Sweden, I've almost beaten myself up for not getting out. I just haven't had the energy to do camping and filming and this kind of stuff, and so although I still have that feeling of wanting to go out, if you know what I mean. It's a little hard to explain, but yeah, I just decided I'll start with a day out, take some nice food, and go from there. But yeah, like I say, it's been an incredibly dry spring and summer. I can't remember it being this dry in a long time. Getting back from Sweden, it was early September, and we had a couple of weeks of very mild and humid weather. It did start to rain a little bit, and the midge were terrible. The worst they were all year. I think they were just making up for it, you know. So that kind of weather, you know, felt quite summer-like to me, and didn't really encourage me to go out either. And then the last week and a half, it's been incredibly stormy, windy and wet. We got a lot of rain. Even today, it was not too bad first half, but it's due to rain pretty heavily all afternoon. That's why I've got this tarp shelter up. But I'm starting to feel like I was missing autumn, so I was keen to get out. We had a little bit of colour change on the leaves quite early on this year, I think because it was so dry, but yeah, we haven't really got full colour yet. The birch is starting to turn, but yeah, it's not full yellow. But it's nice to be out, it is. That's nice. It's like dark chocolate almost. Yeah. I sound like some kind of coffee connoisseur. I'm really not at all. I came to coffee very late in my life, but yeah, you can really taste like sort of dark chocolatey tones to the end of that. But yeah, just a short video really, or a short trip I should say. It's never a short video when I start talking. Yeah, I basically, for those who don't know, I basically started YouTube back at the start of February. I just decided I wanted to give it a go after, watching many videos on YouTube for the last decade, I suppose. But I didn't want it to just be another sort of camping channel. I wanted to try and promote the message about nature restoration and little bits of forestry and just raise awareness, and I suppose it was my way of dealing with my own frustration with it and not sure what I should do about it. And again, for those of you who don't know, I'm a forester. That's my profession. I work in forestry and I suppose nature conservation really, and it's also a very big passion of mine. And yeah, I suppose between Instagram and YouTube I've tried to build a little bit of an audience to get some of these messages across whilst having a bit of fun being out and doing these types of things. Yeah, the channel in general is doing way better than I ever could have imagined in the first, what are we on now? What's that? February, March, April, May, June, July. I can't even work that out. It's what, 7, 8 months, 9 months? We're at 1,400 subscribers now, which at best I was hoping for 500 in maybe the first year, because YouTube is an incredibly hard platform to grow on. It's one of the hardest, and it's mainly because if you're focusing on the long form video, you're asking people to invest a lot more of their time than, if you're on Instagram and you put a reel on. If it's very good, great. If it's not, well, it's only a 10-second video and it maybe took you, I don't know, for the average person 10 minutes to throw together. Whereas the YouTube, it's long form YouTube, and the reason I'm saying that is because YouTube Shorts now is a huge part of YouTube and it's growing. But the long form, you invest quite a bit of time, especially if you're doing this type of thing. You invest the time filming and recording when you're out, a lot of time editing when you get back home. If you're doing short videos inside, you're maybe talking about, I don't know, YouTube itself, or these little hints and tip videos, you could churn them out quite quickly. But when you're doing something like this and you're trying to make it watchable, you're setting up shots, if you're doing sort of bushcraft or any skill type stuff, you need to think about what you're showing and how, and all this stuff. So it takes a lot of time, and if the videos aren't really going anywhere, I can see why people get frustrated and give up on YouTube very quickly. Well, like I say, the subscribers are steadily going up, and I still don't really understand completely how YouTube works. But there's a huge amount of analytics behind YouTube. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes. It's been a really steep learning curve for me. But for example, the Sweden videos, I've got 1,400 subscribers. There's only been about 400 views, and most of those views are not from subscribers. So either it's not what the subscribers want, or they're just not seeing it for some reason. And with YouTube, what I've noticed is it's almost, if you want to help someone's channel, the best ways to do it are some kind of interaction, or watching the video in full, or even watching a second video from them after, because then it tells YouTube, right, this is something that that person wants to watch, and it's learning all the time, and then it's maybe starts to push your video to someone else with similar interests, and that's how it grows. So yeah, if there's only like 10%, or maybe not even, of the subscribers watching a video, that tells YouTube the opposite message, that I'm not putting out what people want, so it's not pushing the video. So yeah, it's a tricky one, and I guess the point I'm trying to get round to is that you invest a lot of time in making these videos, but then if it turns out it's not what people want to watch, it leaves you a little bit like not quite sure what to do, because I'm investing quite a bit of my time here, is it worth it? And I guess that's when it gets to the point where a lot of people just say it's not worth it for me, so I'm going to give up. Now, I'm not considering giving up. I'm still enjoying just the actual process of making videos. I feel like it adds an element of interest when I'm out. Hopefully you can hear me over this wind. And I've got some really genuine and nice feedback from people, and I know it's a very, very small group, but they are consistently watching my videos and seem to be enjoying them, and I really appreciate that. But I suppose not coming out as well, a little bit of that is not really being inspired to do this kind of thing. I'm a bit lost on what people want to see, and I struggle with inspiration of places to go in Scotland. And I know that might sound strange to some people, but I do. There's not really much that interests me outside of the Highlands, and then within the Highlands there's only really a few spots that are really, really nice, and I've been going to them all my life though, and it's easy to get a little bit bored with it. I could come out here every weekend and say I'm on a bushcraft highland wilderness adventure and just keep churning out videos if that's all I want to do, but I don't. I want to talk about interesting things and show interesting things, and it's tricky. And when you're not feeling great, it's hard to be positive and enthusiastic about these things. But yeah, so anyway, that's where I'm at the moment. If people are watching this and they want to leave me some feedback on what they would like to see, or why they're not watching the videos, or if they're even seeing half my videos, just any feedback helps, it really does. But yeah, I'm gonna finish this coffee now, and I think I'm gonna start cooking up this steak, because it is lunchtime and the weather's not due to get better all afternoon, so I think I'll get it cooked up and maybe think about getting out of here sooner rather than later. Right, I'm going to start prepping this steak. I'm just using my Petromax iron pan, and yeah, part of what I've been doing the last couple of weeks, work's been very busy, but I was at the Cairngorm Connect conference for 3 days. I've talked about Cairngorm Connect before. I'm not going to go into it now. I'm actually hoping to talk about it a bit more in a later video. Hoping to go back to one of my favourite spots in the national park soon. But on the second day there was a range of workshops and site visits, and I went to the butchery demonstration, and it's basically part of promoting Cairngorm Connect venison, and basically most of the deer that are shot, for them to go into the food chain they have to go to the game dealer, and they don't necessarily get eaten by local people. But Cairngorm Connect venison is basically promoting local business, and they're trying to sell venison to people who are in the Cairngorm Connect area or to people visiting that area. So there's a series of small freezers and things set up at different visitor centres, like the RSPB Visitor Centre at Lochgarten. So if you see anything when you're visiting the area, you know, make the effort to buy local food. I mean, this is a chunk of red deer. I actually butchered it myself. That was part of the workshop, and it was shot 3 miles away from where it was butchered. So yeah, very local, very sustainable, and as you know, we've got a deer overpopulation problem, so yeah, eat venison. So I'm just going to put a bit of oil on this. That's probably going to break into two, I think. But if you've not had venison before, it's a very healthy meat. It's very lean, and sometimes that can actually be a problem, especially when you're cooking a steak like this, because there's actually not enough fat in the meat to cook it with, or without sort of drying it out and burning it. So a lot of venison actually gets put in stews and things like that, but if you cook it right, it's absolutely fine, and it's delicious. And depending, just putting a bit of pepper on here, depending on what time of year you get it as well, it can have a more kind of gamey taste to it, but it's always full of flavour, and it's one of my favourite meats, and I wish I had access to more, to be honest. Just putting a bit of salt on here. So I'm actually going to take this out at the moment. Put some oil in here and get this nice and hot, and then we'll get the steak on. I'm just going to throw a big chunk of butter in with this. I didn't say it was going to be a healthy steak. I'm going to take this off and let it rest for a few minutes. and then I'm also going to cut up some of these mushrooms and fry them. I think that'll do. Oop, lost a couple. Right, this steak's been sitting for a couple of minutes. I'm just going to cut it open and see how it looks whilst those mushrooms fry. Quite a thick piece of meat, so I'm hoping that it's cooked okay. Ah, look at that. Yes. Well, there we go. Steak and mushrooms. Oh, it's so delicious. Right guys, I'm gonna finish eating this and then I'll bring you back in a while. Go on then. Good boy. Right guys, that's me. Like I say, just a short trip out for me today. That steak was pretty much perfect. But as you can see, it's getting pretty soggy now. The forecast was bang on. Heavy rain for the rest of the afternoon, so I'm going to finish packing up, get this tarp away and head out. I don't have too far to walk, so I should be fine. But hope you enjoyed this little video. Just thought I would check in and let you know where I'm at. But like I say, if you've been watching the Sweden videos, then maybe it doesn't seem like I've been away for so long. I should have another 1, maybe 2 episodes from the High Coast series. I'll see how we get on. But yeah, I'd appreciate it if you go and check them out. And if you don't like them, well, let me know why, you know, that helps me out too. I'm hoping to get out soon for a longer weekend, a camping trip. Maybe in the Cairngorm National Park, my favourite spot, although I am looking for something a little bit different and interesting as well, but camping nonetheless somewhere. And hopefully we can get a period of sort of nicer autumn weather. It'd be good to have first frost. We haven't had that yet, so yeah, some chilly days to get out camping would be good instead of this sort of mild wet weather, but we'll see. But anyway, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.